Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I thought that I would attack the March challenge in the Shabby Dabby Doodah Facebook group. So if you follow her, then you already know that the challenge for March is to have something that is miniature. It should include something altered like a paperclip, something round, some card, and some hessian. So I've been thinking about it. I've been distracted lately with other issues, but I've changed my mind a couple of times. But basically, I think I have some ideas about what we could make together, and I thought I'd bring you along. So if you follow Rachel, Roxy Creations, maybe you saw the expandable pockets that she made. Of course, she uses medieval kind of papers and fabulous scripty pages from old books that she has, and I love them. I like to hack things by making a miniature or doing something that's just a little different. And so I took some papers that are sort of, I think this came from Purple Poppy, something she shared. So I took her free share and I cut it down and I made my own expandable pockets. Like, they're super tiny. I realize you might say, what in the world are you supposed to do with that? Like, they're useless. Well, they're cute and therefore they're not useless. But if you make junk journals and you have tiny ephemera, like look at some of this ephemera is tiny, right? You could put some tiny things in these pockets. Maybe not that, that's not tiny enough. But man, I have some tiny ephemera. Look at these. These are tiny. And what else do we have that's tiny? Oh man, those are tiny. Tina's inked inchies, those are super tiny. Look at those. So, you know, I sort of had these in mind when I made this because, you know, you could put some of those in and something that's a little longer and have them sticking up. And I never intended to fold this over to close the envelope. I meant for it to stay open, but I don't know. I just thought they were super cute. And of course, the added bonus is that they're crunchy. So the way I achieved that was I used, one sec. When I coffee dye my paper in the oven, I do it on parchment paper. And, you know, depending on how many times you use it, your paper gets super grungy. This is one that was used way too many times. I had to throw the rest of it away because it was so brittle. It was just, when you touched it, it was leaving little pieces all over my room here. But anyway, this is the same thing, just hasn't been used as many times, and I just ripped them down into little pieces. And I used Fabri-Tac to attach them. I tried other things. I tried tacky glue and they wouldn't stay glued. I tried my double-sided tape and that was not an optimal option, truly. So yeah, Fabri-Tac, and then I clamped them and you know, they're gonna hold. I mean, they're not gonna get a lot of abuse, right? So anyway, I'm digressing big time. So that's how I made them, but you could use any paper, any paper, and just, you know, get a little strip depending on how small you want it. Do your little accordion thing and you have like space for 3 things there, and then glue that onto something. So for the miniature components of this month's challenge, I was sort of leaning toward this. But even filling it with one of these would satisfy the miniature component, right? So there's that. And then what else? Yes, altered paperclip. So I do have a couple of those to choose from that are already made, because I do need to use these things up. Of course I could make new ones, but I have this super cute pink one. So that just, you know, when you're clipping something, you have a smaller heart and a bigger heart, and it just goes on like that. So you could clip this to a journal page that way, or this could just sit on your journal page. And I also have a green one. So I'll leave these out because I don't know which one I like yet. So we have that. And what else were we supposed to do? Round. Okay, so I'm thinking doily. Doily. So let's see. Need some doily. I got a white one. And what else do we have for doilies? Oh, just don't even look at this. The container isn't big enough for what's in it. More white ones. Navy blue. Let's pull out a beige one just in case. And we have, yeah, no, not navy. Oh, those are pretty. More navy. Okay, we'll take those out just in case. Did you see those guys? Love them. Okay, so I'm gonna pretend I didn't look at that just now. And we also are supposed to have card. And so I'm looking at my scrap bin and I'm thinking, there's a good piece of card right there. And Hessian. So for the Hessian, I had two ideas. Either we would literally cut a piece of Hessian, or, so there's that, or I made these little flowers that I cut out of Hessian that was covered in lace. These are super cool. I love these. So those are definitely an option. Okay. So now we just need to begin. I gotta have a plan. I would like it to be a journal card, I think. A journal card that's embellished with some of these things and then clipped to a journal page. So let's just go see how we get on. I hope you guys aren't so close that you can't see. I think you can see quite well. All right. So let's say that our average journal card is 4x6, right? Or at least that's how I'm going to make it. Okay, that gives us lots of room. I love this little cutter. I need to go online and see if I can get another one. When I really, really love something, I get worried that it's going to disappear. And then I think, oh, the solution to that is to have two or more. I mean, that's just not sustainable, right? It's why this room looks like it does, because and it's pretty organized. I tore it apart about a month ago, but still. Okay. So do we want to cover one side of it with something pretty and digital? Let's see, what do we have for digitals? We could, those aren't quite big enough. Those are Mrs. Coggs. Unless I'm willing to cut it down, which I guess I could do. Could always cut it down. We could use something from someone else. Like, for example, there's this fabulous Andrea paper. We could also put some of that on the back of it. I like that. That's nice. That would kind of go with some of the other things I have. Or Can you guys see what I'm rummaging through? Nope. Sorry. Rummaging through. Trying to use up what's already printed and not print new. That's not lined for the back of a journal card, so that might not be so helpful. But something that has a little bit, it's a little bit more of the green tones, that would give us the option to use either of these. So I like that. You guys are probably screaming something at me. You know, for the round component, wow, I even have these. Forgot about these. These are doilies that I turned into envelopes. But that might actually be cheating because they're not round anymore. Yeah, okay, that doesn't work. That's right. I'll rule that out. They're not round anymore, dummy. Okay. Okay, so let's put that one away. That's not going to help us today. Just my luck, I'd end up with the lines crooked. Yeah, how do I know that? No, it's never happened before. Not in this craft room. Never. I would never glue anything on crooked. Okay, tearing ruler. What glue stick do you guys like the best? I don't know. For me, the jury's out on glue sticks. They have a purpose. Sometimes they're amazing. Like if you're just gluing old book page to something, that seems to grab really well. I don't know. When card is involved, I'm not certain that they're super useful. I mean, obviously I'm doing it right now, but I mean, the super usefulness is that it doesn't buckle your paper the way wet glue does. I mean, wet glue is not the be all and end all. Some crafters swear by it, but sometimes wet glue is a pain in the neck. It has no better or worse sticking properties than glue stick. See a lot of people using the Scotch Create glue stick. I cannot get it. I can't really. Well, okay, no, let me clarify that. If I want to go on Amazon and pay $10 for one of them, I can get it, but that's not happening. I don't care how good it is. I'm not paying $10 for a glue stick. So yeah, a lot of people like that one, and I'm sure it's good, but I can't get it. So I don't mind these, but my best bet so far has been these ones. I bought a box full of Amazon Basics, the purple one, and I like them because, well, they actually stick better. At least that's been my experience. So have you guys been following the challenges in Tina's group, or do you belong to any groups where you follow the challenges? I just started doing that. I have a real difficulty when I'm confined to what I can use. That, I mean, obviously, duh, that's why it's a challenge, right? You meet the challenge and that's success. But I never do the same thing twice. So yeah, in that case, I should enjoy a challenge, but I also don't like being restricted. So that's where the challenge is for me. It's not having the stuff. It's not having to improvise. It's just, okay, what do I do? Make it come together. So, All right, so let's choose some little things that are going to go in here. I don't like that. Okay, what are we going to put in here? Oh man, you guys, if I end up gathering enough followers, I'll probably drive them nuts, because I honestly don't know what it is, but I cannot get into this bird and butterfly thing that everyone has going on. I've never been, I feel like butterflies are cliched for women in general. Okay. And then I'm just not a bird lover. So when I look at digitals and just different stuff, and I see everything's got birds and butterflies all over it, and I'm just stifled by that. I never create a journal that's got birds or butterflies, but I never take things and just create a journal anyway. I mean, I would never buy a journal kit and make a journal out of it. So far, the journals I've made have had a purpose. They've been custom for someone, or I've done, books that have a purpose, like my ephemera book or something like that. So its design is, quite specific, but I would never, I guess everybody has their favorite motifs, right? I love Disney princesses, but that doesn't necessarily lend itself well to the junk journal world. So, that's where I guess you can do some clever adaptations, make things work, and all of that. That's the art of it. But I just cannot get into birds and butterflies. So, like, I imagine in the background people would be screaming like, put a bird on there, put a butterfly on there. And I'd be like, that would never occur to me. Oh. So what motifs do you like? Like, what's your thing? What's your pet peeve in the junk journal world? What do you see people do and you're just like, no, can't do that? What am I doing right now where you're saying, no, can't do that? But I mean, do you watch people and you're actually sitting there going, no, not that one. No, that one doesn't match. And you're having a bit of a coronary because you just see something else on their desk and you're thinking, that's way better. Why don't you see that? Why don't you see that? And it's, it's funny, but it's also frustrating when you're the viewer. I guess it'd be in a perfect world if everybody was doing things live. You wouldn't have that problem, right? I feel like there's a bubble. Oh, because there is. Okay. I'm sure some of you are also screaming like, round your corners, but I got to think about that too. I certainly see times when rounded corners look really, really nice, and I like them too. But then there's other times when, no, I don't like rounded corners. Yeah, I feel like I need to put something on the back of this. Like, What about some book page to break that up? Because you're not writing on that side anyway. It's purely decorative. No fear of bad words in Shakespeare, right? That's what that page is. Don't have to worry about, you know. I never even thought of that. When I started watching people doing videos and that, and then I would hear them saying like, oh, I was doing something the other day and then someone pointed out there were bad words. And I thought, wow, I don't even know if I would have thought of that. Guess that's what, it depends where you buy your books. Yeah, that'd be pretty bad. I know, why did I ink up the edges and now I'm covering it up? Oh, because that's how it goes. That's what impromptu crafting is. You see, you know, and then you look around and you see something else in your room and you say, oh, yeah, what about that? And I've seen myself completely redo from my mental idea of what I wanted. I've seen myself completely create something that was not at all what I thought I was sitting down to create. Well, before we moved to this place, I was using my, no joke, 6-foot craft table, like 6 feet this way, and then the depth was 2.5 feet, and that thing was brilliant. I mean, I had so much stuff to hand that, you know, what I'm doing right now, like I do have a few things that I thought I might want impromptu, but otherwise I have to, you know, go beyond to the stuff you can't see, the shelves over there, the shelves over there. and that's okay. It's just, whoops, it's just the roll of a chair. But, you know, it's not that I'm doing this video and I didn't prepare or organize. It's that it wouldn't matter how much I organized, I still wouldn't be able to have everything, so that I wouldn't have to like roll and appear like I'm rolling away from you guys for a few minutes. So anyway, yeah, my 6-foot table. So I tried it in here. It was so ridiculous. I mean, I could sit in my chair, but if I backed up, I'd be smacking into a shelf. That's how tight it was. And I'd have to slide the 6-foot table one way to get out around it just to go to the bathroom. So that was ridiculous too. And yeah, I mean, I miss it. It's in storage, but until we live in a different place, it's just not going to happen. So yeah, I miss it all the time. I see people though on YouTube crafting in tiny, tiny spaces, and I just think, wow, that, like, I'm impressed. I'm super impressed by what I see them create in the space in which they create it. Really. I feel like that needs some more color in there. So it's not so white. Oh my word, I'm sure on some level someone's going to say that was racist. I'm not trying to be, so let's not go there. I think it doesn't matter what you say where, someone's going to be offended. So I just feel bad when I see some lovely, gentle YouTube ladies, and they're just in turmoil because someone's, you know, put out nasty comments and someone doesn't like what they did, or there's been a lot of stuff lately where people have commented on a particular YouTuber's video in which she, you know, she basically handed people their butts for the nasty things they seem to think they have the freedom to say. And I totally agree, but I don't know if I would have bothered taking the time to even give people like that my attention. I'm not here because I feel like I know everything, or you know, I don't care if people don't like the color of my shirt, or they don't like my hands, or if, you know, in videos in which I've shown my face, I don't really care if they're going to say, oh yeah, you're fat, you're ugly. I just think people who resort to that, they're just some of the saddest people. And so when I caught sight of that video that she uploaded, in which she was very eloquently, you know, telling people like, what, you know, basically, what is wrong with you? I'm not here because, you know, your commentary on that is so important. I'm here for a reason, and there's no need of these nasty comments. And everything she said was right. I just feel bad that she had to receive those comments and felt like she needed to address them in the first place. You know, my mother used to say, if you give a clown an audience, they'll perform. And it's so true. So I feel like if you definitely, you don't engage these idiots when they've said nasty stuff about what you do and everything. If you engage them, you've lost, because you've given them that 1 ounce of attention they don't deserve, right? You've given the clown their audience. And but at the same time, I can see how people would feel like, okay, if I say nothing and I just let these people treat me this way or say these things on my channel, I own this channel and I should have the freedom to, you know, shut it down. And yeah, you do. You absolutely do. Yeah, I'm just realizing these are too tiny. Yeah, you have the freedom to shut someone down if you don't like what they're saying, of course. But like, I definitely wouldn't engage them. I wouldn't respond to them. That much is certain. And, you know, giving them any time at all, so I think that's what some of them want. They hope that you'll engage them by saying something like, or, you know, and if you show that you've been hurt by what they've said, well, they seem to get off on that. And oh man, my thing is, if someone is being that much of a piece of, you don't ever give them the upper hand. Never. So yeah, go ahead. Say I'm fat. You hate my voice. You hate what I create. I don't know what I'm doing. Go ahead. Go ahead. Like, I don't really care. The things that I've seen and done, and the people that I've watched do super horrible things as members of humanity, there's nothing that you're going to say to me that's going to make me like sad or upset. So have at it. Yeah. Okay, so now off that little soapbox. So we got like quite a few little cute little pieces of ephemera in here. And if you were worried that they were going to fall out, well, you could, you know, sort of like put little dabs of glue to keep them together. But the idea is you want it to be manipulative. You want it to, as a decorative piece, what, you know, I don't know, maybe this should become a tuck or something, right? And that would probably be a better use for it. But if you closed this on the side just to keep those things in, you'd be defeating the purpose, right? Because the purpose is it's one of those expandable pockets, and you're supposed to be able to go wah, 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 and see that. Whoops, I missed the pocket there. No, I didn't. So yeah, and things are going to move. And so if that bugs you that they move, then I don't know, tack them together or whatever. But no, I love that. So when it's clipped and you know the clip is on it, it's not going to move. So you would, let me get my, I don't have a journal per se, but I have something we can like just see what I'm talking about here. So let's say this is our page in our journal, and we want this to be like a tuck, a decorative tuck that you can pull off and write on, but you put it this way because if once you've written something on it and you don't want that to be out there, like I don't know, maybe it's a secret thing that you wrote, so it's upside down, and if you're using it as a tuck and you wrote on it and it's clipped to the page, then whatever you've tucked in there, right? Whatever you've tucked in. So let's say we have this as a writing spot. Of course, if I did that, I wouldn't be leaving it so white on the back, but just because I haven't finished preparing it yet. Let's say that this is a writing space in our journal. This is really beautiful Andrea paper. Andrea from Artie Mays, by the way. So we've clipped our little tucky guy, which is not done yet, obviously, but we've clipped him to the page. Okay. And I will glue this down. But anyway, so this is our tuck here. So when people are flipping through the journal, if you shared your journal, you know, this, you wouldn't write something on this that was super private because it's obvious. But if you had written something there that you didn't want everybody to see, well, they wouldn't even know it was there unless they pulled it, you know, totally dismantled it and pulled it out. So then that would be up to you whether you shared to that extent, you know, allowed people to actually manhandle your journal. But anyway, that as a tuck, you would hide. You could actually have a hidden one so that they wouldn't actually see that. All right, so let's affix this so that it doesn't become an issue. And then we still have our expandable component. If we glue it like that, it's decorative, it's expandable. And then what I might do, I don't want to cover that up so much, but yeah, okay. So we don't need this in our way. So what we might do is have this. And if I mess it up, I can always grab another one. Yeah, so I like that. Like that. So I'm going to commit to that because otherwise I'm horrible about changing my mind. Absolutely horrible, and I know it. So I'm committing to that right now. I didn't really want to take up more space on my desk, but I really do need my glue book. See, I told you I can just grab everything with the slide of a chair. I was just checking to see I was still recording there. Oh, sometimes the phone and the software and everything else. Sometimes they do scary things. First couple of times I recorded video, like a long time ago, I had this tripod. It was cool, but oh my God, it scared me to death. One day it randomly, basically the clamp shot my phone down onto the table, gave me a heart attack. Not because the motion scared me, but because I was worried about my phone. Like, no, not a smashed screen. And it didn't. I got off easy on that one, but yeah, I was sweating. I was really sweating that I'd smashed my screen. Yeah, that's good. I like that. All right, so here's how we're going to do that. And I'm not going to go to the trouble of creating another tuck spot in the back of that. I think we got enough here. This is not meant to be that. It's meant to be decorative. Yeah, whoops. No way. Oh, there we go. You're not happy. You're not even stuck together, except to my fingers. That's not happened yet with this double-sided tape, so I hope that's a one-off. I bought this double-sided tape on in a store on AliExpress because, oh, the dimension, it just blew me away. I thought that if this stuff is any good, then it's so versatile. Look how tiny that is. Well, anyway, don't buy it. It is so useless. It isn't even funny. Like what you just saw here with the sticky part separating from the backing tape, this does it all the time. You can't even really get it to work. I've barely used any of it successfully, so I'm glad I didn't pay a whole lot for it. But yeah, the dimension is great, but the function super sucks. Yeah, okay, and don't people grease me out for that. If you don't like that expression, I'm sorry, man. It's part of my regular vernacular. Okay, today would be good. Before I bore a hole in it. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, I know. How are you supposed to write on the back when you've got that big lumpy thing there? Well, it's not going to be a big lumpy thing when you take the little pieces out of it, right? And that's also helping to maintain the clever ruse that it's not a hidden writing space, right? So there we go. So that's that. Let's take you off. And might have been a little heavy with the glue. Feeling some goobers there that I don't like. All right, so now the other half. Do I want to do something to the top? Not now. Not that I've done that. Don't like that. So we still need our Hessian component. I haven't forgotten that. So we have our, well, technically we have our round. Or maybe since I cut it now, we can't say that's round either. Darn. Yeah, I blew that, didn't I? Okay, we'll fix that. We will fix that. But, you know what? We're going to fix it with a button embellishment.